You guys, I just got the itch. And no, I don't mean ick. I mean itch to start a new project. So let's talk about it. Imagine this. I'm driving home, stuck in traffic, driving, a long time driving. And I start to think, how nice would it be to have a brown crochet mini skirt? I've been really just like, I've been fiending for this color's mini skirt. But as the saying goes, if you give a mouse a cookie, and if you give a crocheter a mini skirt, if she's me, she's going to want to make a matching cardigan. But I only have 4 skeins of this yarn, so I don't think that the cardigan that's in my head I could create. However, if I add this color, and maybe even this color, then in total I have 9 skeins, which is definitely enough to make my cardigan dreams come true and my matching set dreams come true. So let's make it happen. Let me show you what I'm going to model this set after, and then we have to get to sketching. Hello, she slays. This is the mid-length tied up cardigan on my website, and the basic mini skirt, which I love. They eat. However, both of them have been needing a little bit of a tune-up, a little bit of a reworking. I made this skirt originally in 2021 maybe. I'll put a photo of what it was initially, and then I shortened it, took off the flowers, and made this for my 21st birthday, but never finished it. Ended up wearing it on my 22nd birthday, and that's my lore. This cardigan, tied up as the name suggests, is the more longer version of my cropped tied up cardigan, and I honestly really love it. The ties on this one are also too long. If you watch my anti-granny square cardigan videos, and you've been listening to me complain about the length of ties for eons. My plan is to make a rendition of these two that feature the brown as the main color. I'm trying to decide currently if I just want to make the skirt like checkered and have none of the goldish color. I'm leaning towards that. Not the gold, like the champagne-y color, this one. Or if I want to figure out a way to work it in, because I only have one of that, so it has to be more of like an accent moment. And I just thought of how I could make it an accent. So let's get to sketching, but this is where we're trying to get to. Just not like this, but like this at the same time. I just said it literally took me 30-ish minutes to figure everything out. I fully designed both the cardigan and the mini skirt, but I didn't quite get to writing out all my pattern because the cardigan's gonna be a little bit interesting for reasons I will talk about later. Anyways, this is my sketch. I have everything laid out as A, B, A, B, and C. C is ever so tiny. So it's gonna be the mini skirt with slits on either side, and then the mid-length tied up cardigan. Let's get started on this skirt. I'm going to make sure that the base of everything is with the brown, since it's what I have the most of, and I will be using a 3mm hook. My girl, this right here is my girl. My 3 and my 2 are my most used hooks. It's like an hour maybe plus later, and this is where we are at. I'm on my 3rd row now. The way I'm doing it, instead of cutting the end or like having a bunch of smaller balls, I'm just weaving the yarn through So I'm like constantly crocheting in one of the colors, and I actually don't hate this technique. I'll be interested to see like how it looks when I'm done. I mean, I definitely like it more than if I had to be cutting a bunch of or weaving in a bunch of ends, like tiny ends. Maybe I would like having multiple different balls, but that just feels like a lot to manage. So this is working out right now. I'm about to go on my walk. I don't know how much more of this I'm gonna get done today, but looking good. Howdy girlies, it is the next day. I did end up working on this a little bit more. I don't remember if I mentioned, but for some reason initially I thought that the colors were going to be a bit off because my counting for splitting up the 4 sections wasn't quite perfect, but looking at it like this, it looks fine. So I guess it's leveled itself out. This is where I'm at with the yarn. My goal today is to at least finish these 2 skeins. I would love to get through the 6 inches of this so that I can switch over to this color. At this point in time, am I a little bit worried about my cardigan dreams? A smidgen. Just a smidgen. But we will see. Anyways, let's get to crocheting. I don't have a lot of work to do today, so let's see how much I can get done. Between now, it's 10:09 and let's say about 2 o'clock.
I'm gonna improvise again, but I think it'll be fine. I have at least some fabric left over, thankfully. Remember when I had cut it to the length of the dress, I had some left over. Kiwi? Kiwi!
Okay, it is 2:10. This is my progress. She's looking good. This is technically the inside. I feel like I'm still trying to perfect how the seam looks. I mean, it doesn't look awful, but I feel like it could look better. This is gonna be on the side though, so like it doesn't really matter, but I would like to figure it out for the long run. I am ever so slightly concerned about how it is increasing, as in I don't really feel like it is increasing. So that will be interesting once we get to a length that I can actually try on. But speaking of length, let's see how long she is. Currently, she is right at 3 inches, which is about what I expected. This is where my yarn is at. I would say I've used about half. So hopefully this will get me to the full 6 inches. My cardigan dreams are slowly being trampled. But I do care about the skirt the most, so it's fine. Let me see if it's increasing in terms of the hip. Our waist is a little bit more than 36 inches, which is cool. And our hips are currently at about 38 inches. So we are increasing. By the time I get to the 6 inches, I should be at 40. And then when I get through this color section, I will be at probably like 41, 42-ish. Now I am currently considering adding in some more colors, specifically a pinkish mauve color. I'm gonna eat, do my work, continue to think on it, and then come back with a decision. because if I add more colors, I'm currently at the perfect place to do it, potentially. So let's ruminate on that for a little bit. Good morning. It is a few days later. It's Thursday. I think I last updated on Tuesday. Yesterday I was crocheting away. I think the last thing I mentioned was that I was concerned about the amount of yarn that I had. This is currently where I'm at, so you'll see. This is where we're at on this skirt. I decided to end it at 5 inches and do a 3-inch separation with this color as opposed to doing only 1 inch, just because I felt like the 1 inch was like too skinny, you know? And when I was looking at it this morning, I was like, low-key, this is already looking good. And then with this amount, I think I'll have just enough to potentially finish out the skirt. I might have to add on a little bit of the brown, but I'm hoping that this is enough of the gold, because the brown is what I have the most of at the end of the day. My initial thoughts were potentially, if this only got me to 6 inches, which thankfully will get me to more than 6 inches, then I was going to potentially add in 2 other colors, but then that was also going to change up the cardigan, and I was like, So this is currently where we're at. Let's measure. We are still 18, so 36 inches across, which is good. And we are almost 40 inches at the bottom. Almost. I will be interested to see how me putting the, like, stringing the yarn and weaving the yarn in throughout affects how this, like, stretches out and stuff, because I'm gonna guess it will. But that is not my business at the current moment. Anywho, let's add in this color. It's called Bone, if you're curious.
Finished eating lunch, and oh my god, there's so many people in the street right now. I hate vlogging when there's a lot of people around. But anyway, that place was really, really good, and I got to sit down and talk to the owner for a while, and it wasn't exactly my choice, but it was still nice.
TBH, don't remember the last time I updated. This week has been a week, but anyhow, I have made some progress on this skirt. As you can see, the lighter brown tone section is completely done. If you're curious about the colors, this yarn is Karen Simply Soft. The brown is called Chocolate. The gold color is called Autumn Maze, and this like champagne-y gold color is called Bone. So this is how my skirt is looking. I am liking her. I think I mentioned that I ended up only doing 5 inches for my first checker sort of section, and I ended up doing 3 inches for my bottom section. So let's measure her and see where we're at. Why don't we? Okay, our lucky number is like around 43 to 44. So, checking in on my waist. My waist is still at 36 inches, perfection. And the bottom is just almost at 44 inches, which is perfect, because I think when I switch back to doing the checkered, I think it might tighten it ever so slightly, just because I'm pulling the yarn through, but we're in good shape. Now what I'm currently working on is I switched over to the waistband just so that, I don't know, I wasn't quite ready to like switch back to the color, and sometimes it bothers me to not see a clean waistband. So like this is just a side note, and I'll start crocheting while I talk about this. But I do judge crocheters. I can't even say this seriously. I do judge crocheters when they start with the waistband and they do that like ribbed situation where like they do the height of the ribbing and then the length of their waist, and that's how they start a skirt or pants or shorts, and then they go into like whatever. I'm a chain girl, you know? I love a chain. I understand a chain for the most part. I understand yarn weights and hook sizes and how that can affect my chain, or that means my chain will get smaller or larger. I am comfortable with the chain of it all. I'm also very comfortable with just adding elastic or in tubing a waistband of sorts. So I don't mind doing that as like an afterthought. These are things I do not mind. What I do mind is crochet ribbing. What I do mind is a stretched out waistband. And that's what I find the crochet ribbing one does. I'm sorry. I hate to be the one to say it. Let's finish up this waistband and I will see you when it's done. I don't think I'll be able to try it on quite yet. I think I'm gonna have to get to at least 10 inches or so before we're in a place to try things on, but let's keep crocheting.
Oh, still going for the ledge. She hasn't taken the bait. Okay, I may have cheated and just placed her on there, but she's chilling.
Got all my stuff out of storage by myself on Thanksgiving Day, girl. Put it all in the back of a U-Haul trailer, hitched it to the back of my truck, and then I drove all the way down to Georgia. Yeah, you heard that right, girl. I moved to Georgia.
Eek. Okay, it's actually quite a few days later. I don't remember the last time I recorded, but today is currently Sunday, December 22nd, and I just finished the waistband of this skirt, and this is where we are looking, and I love the color. This is the inside. I really like the colors. I feel like they're playing very nicely with each other, but I am now in a bit of a conundrum. So this is how much brown I currently have, but I have 3 more skeins, so we're pretty okay on brown. This is how much gold I have, which honestly, not too bad. And this is how much of the bone color that I have. I have 1 more of these gold, and then I have some like scraps, so like plenty of scraps, but I would obviously prefer to just use a skein so I don't have all the little magic knots throughout the project. And this is all the bone that I have. My current conundrum is whether or not I think that I have enough yarn to just do these 3 colors for both the skirt and for the cardigan. I keep going back and forth if the cardigan matters to me, and I keep landing on yes. I could crop the cardigan. That is an option, but because I'm considering wearing this as my New Year's look, just because I feel like it'll be like cute, but it'll also be like kind of warm, so it'll, you know, carry me well throughout the night. Because I'm considering it as a New Year's piece, I just feel like I would want a longer cardigan as opposed to a cropped cardigan. Those are my current thoughts. So where that leads us is, do I start incorporating more colors? I think my thought about incorporating more colors is I think that could be fun. However, part of me wishes I let me just show you the color options and then we can talk through it. Can you tell that color just makes my brain start to lag? Like, I don't know why. Like, these 3 colors, it was very easy. I could very clearly see them next to each other when I was looking at my yarn options that are in this like Care and Simply Soft sort of texture, and I was like, yes, easily those work. I think I also like this idea just because it is technically like a neutral type tone, so I figured it would be pretty wearable. The idea of adding colors in is scary just because I do fear that would make this slightly less wearable. Just in the sense that, like, you know, we're adding a bit of color, but clearly I have a few options, so I'll show you some of my highest contenders. So the toppest, the tippy of the toppiest, I have this yarn like literally squeezed in here. The toppiest contender is this mauve that I actually got from my great grandmother. She was the only other crocheter that I knew in my family. I feel like the pink very naturally will pair with this color situation. I have enough of it that I could just add in the pink, but I don't know if I'm going to not like that I'm no longer doing this checkered situation, because I just feel like otherwise the checker at the top of the skirt might feel random if suddenly we're going into like not checkered. So if I do the pink but I want to incorporate another color, oh, I actually don't have enough of this. In my head I was thinking this gray, but I do not have enough. But the gray, see, I feel like that could have been somewhat of a moment, but we don't have enough of that, so that's not an option. I don't have a lot of these, but I feel like these darker purples could also be fun, funky, and fresh, especially if we do like the darkest purple. Let me see it next to the yarn. Like this combo is interesting, but this combo is even a bit more interesting. So having something like this, I don't hate, and I think that this should be enough for me to like make something cardigan worthy and finish up the skirt and still have the checker. On the more wild side, I was a little bit interested in this blue. Like, I feel like these 2 colors together are a little bit fun, and even throwing in this color is fun. And then when you pair in the gold and the brown, I feel like that's really cute. And I have 2 of these, so easily I could do something. Easily I could do something fun. What do we think, you guys? Because it would be a checker and then I'm stressed. My video just finished exporting. Anyways, it would be pink and teal checkers and then lined again with the brown. The only reason this extra intrigued me is because potentially if I had enough mauve left over, I could make a matching top so that I could have the top, the cardigan, and the skirt. My brain. If you give a mouse a cookie. Anyways, I feel like this excites me the most, if I'm being honest. I would be really excited about this purple color, except for the fact that I just wish I had more of it, and I'm really not trying to put myself in this constant conundrum. I feel like we'll just lean into the fun of it all, you know? You know, because like my other option is like this orangey color, but like that just feels too expected. You know, like, girl, what am I? Freaking, you know? Right? I just feel like this blue really grabs your eye. Like, it's like, hello. What do we call this? Cool green. This cool green color really grabs my eye in a positive way. Whereas I feel like the brown is kind of like, right? I'm just gonna lean in. We are going to do these.
Best part about accepting help is being able to take a step back and actually enjoy the fruits of your labor, because most of the time as a small business owner you're just working to the point where like you don't ever get to like stop and smell the roses and appreciate what's actually going on, because you're too in the zone trying to get things done, trying to produce inventory, trying to sell products, trying to sign up for markets, trying to keep up with online sales, trying to grow your business, trying to even make just one singular sale. There's just like a lot of goals that we have and a lot of things we're working towards, and it's like hard to actually appreciate what's going on and like realize how grateful and lucky we are to be even like doing this and pursuing this, and appreciate our own creativity and giving ourselves a pat on the back, being like, hey, I'm pretty cool.
It's currently Christmas and I've been putting off this try on for some time now because I'm very unsure about the skirt, but I finally hit 10 inches. You can see the color has arrived. Let's try it on. I fear we need to go back to the drawing board, so I will see you when I reflect. It's the next day and I'm honestly feeling a bit of decision paralysis, but I'll explain what went wrong. So basically, for a curvy body, the way that you set your measurement so that your waist isn't insanely big is you usually add a little bit to your waist and then you increase as you get to the hip, and typically it's okay because crochet stretches a bit, so you can easily slide it past your butt and then it still fits nicely around your hip, especially if you have elastic. What went wrong is that because the way that I hid the yarn was I was stringing it through, that string was too taut, so it couldn't stretch out to get over my bootay. If I could like magically slide this over myself, this would 1000% fit, but it doesn't fit enough to get past my butt, so it doesn't really matter. As in, like, when I say it doesn't matter, it means that like the fact that it theoretically fits doesn't matter because there's no other way to get it on. If this had like a zip closure or something like that, then it wouldn't matter if I had pulled the string through tautly, because you don't have to slide it up to get it on, but because you do have to slide it up to get on, it does matter. Now, to be honest, that all being said, I was kind of feeling just kind of like about the skirt. I think I was forcing the color thing. I don't hate these colors, but they're definitely not my particular colors. In the perfect world, I could honestly just make this using just the brown, just the chocolate brown. If I had to add in a color, then I guess the gold and the bone are okay, but I would really prefer to just use the brown. But I'm not a striped girl. I don't typically love stripes, I'm trying to like think in my brain a way to do stripes that I might actually enjoy, and a way to do stripes where the brown is still the main focus. Despite my not loving of stripes, I do actually like this set. It also has a matching skirt, and I think I like it because the blue stripe is slightly bigger than the white stripe, so it creates a fun effect. I do also like a situation where it's like different block sizes, but I think I like that better still monotone and switching up with like mesh versus regular double crochet paneling. I did consider completely just scrapping this and acting like it never happened, but I really am trying to be a better me, and that would not be being a better me. So I still really like the idea of a mini skirt and larger cardigan, like my sketch. This is my OG sketch, and I still like the idea behind it. I think that what I could do is scrap the checker situation on the skirt and introduce this variegated line situation on the skirt instead, because I'm not sold by the stripes, not as much as I would like to be, I don't think. But if I did layers of brown, then the gold, and then the bone at the bottom, and then repeated a similar situation on this, I think I could like that. Because the other thing that I'm going to have to be very careful with is I already made the waistband. It should be fine for me to unravel up to the top and just pick up my stitches, but the brown at the waistband is going to have to stay because I'm not remaking this waistband. Let me sketch something out. This is the new sketch, so we're just doing some variegated blocks. Like I said, I like the idea of the stripe, but I just feel like today is the 26th and I need to have this done by the 31st. We're already pushing it with the 5 days of it all. So, and this feels rewearable to me. My other thought is currently, do I want to keep stressing myself out by using the brown, the gold, and the bone, which I feel like is the peak color scheme, or if I just switch it to the brown, the gold, and the pink, I will definitely have enough yarn. But like the brown, the gold, the pink, I just feel like this color combo slays. We're just gonna have to make it work. If we have to switch up the idea for the cardigan, then that will be sacrificed, but this color combo cannot be sacrificed. So I'm going to get to unraveling this monstrosity and we will reconvene.
You can set your phone down and put your recipe on. I love that. I got it on Amazon, I think. I'm just gonna pull up the recipe just to have as like a kind of reference point. Hold on, he's filling up his water and I don't know what things to turn on. I will show you our Christmas tree and let you know that it is in fact dead. It is dead. This tree has been the bane of my existence. Like,
she is fully unraveled down to just the brown, and I think I am going to try the little stripe section, maybe a little bit. So let's see how we get along with it, and if I don't like it, I can unravel it, and it'll be a lot easier to unravel than what I just had to unravel. So success. I don't know.
With the colourwork patterns so far, I actually have some tips to make it easier. For the first tip, and I should have shown you this because I've just taken them all off, but I've had a highlighter and I've printed my colourwork chart off and I've been ticking off as I go.
I really made this video just because I want to connect with other people in the craft community online and talk about all of this, because I don't have people in my life that want to talk this much about knitting and crafting and fiber arts, so it would be really cool to have like a little community online and find fellow makers.
And I want to mention the sleeves on this is like perfect sleeve length for me, and I just really appreciated that. One thing about this pattern that I tried new was I tried to block my patterns using the spin cycle on my washing machine.
I need you guys not to judge, but what I'm about to show you is 4 hours worth of progress. Does this look like 4 hours? Mind you, the waistband was already there. I really don't consider myself a slow crocheter, but I do feel like because I'm designing as I go, there's just a lot going on in my brain. So I'm like making things up as I go. That's my excuse. Anywho, as you can see, we have a little situation. It is about to switch up in this next round because basically what I think I'm going to do is switch out the brown for the gold just to make sure that I'm balancing how much brown yarn I'm using versus the gold. The brown is definitely the main, but I have a solid amount of the gold also, so I want to try to use that up. I did want to measure it. Currently, without the waistband, it is about 3.5 inches, and with the waistband, it is 4.5 inches. We have another 9-ish inches to go. Then for the width, our current width is it's already at my 22 inches, which I figured would happen with this yarn. This yarn definitely requires a much slower increase. So I honestly probably could have done an increase every 2 rows instead of an increase every other row. So I'm going to stop increasing for now and just continue on regularly. Let me take out this one increase, and that's chill. I need to go on my walk before it gets dark. We will chat later, but I'm definitely feeling better about how things are going, but I'm still like apprehensive about how things will continue. Good morning. That was more low energy than I thought. All right, so to be honest, I did this yesterday, and when I saw that it's already at my hip length and I've only done this much, I did feel a little bit defeated. Mostly just because this project has just been full of so many unexpected outcomes that I thought that what I knew and what I was returning to was something that I knew. And typically if I'm increasing every other row, it shouldn't be until a row, or it shouldn't be until like 6 inches or even 8 inches in that I've reached 42 inches. Now, I haven't worked with thicker yarn in a while. I usually am using much smaller yarn, so that could account for it, but it was just too jarring of information for me to handle yesterday. And I contemplated fully restarting. This morning, I woke up, I looked at it, I tried it on number 1. It is actually perfect. I can just do regular double crochets now. But I looked at it and I said, I do actually like where this is going. I want to continue to see it through. Me and my friends have made, well, we're in the process of making our New Year's Eve plans. I looked at the weather. It'll be a high of 67 and a low of 47, which is insane. So I say that all to say the mini skirt is a yes. Whether I will make a top or a long cardigan or a crop cardigan is still to be determined. We are very much seeing this project come together as we go. There's so many factors against us. The fit, the amount of yarn that I have, the weather, the time. Did I mention today is Friday? December 27th, which means we have 4 more days. Yeah. And today the plans are up in the air, so honestly I know for the fact I have the next 2 to 3 hours to crochet. Anything after that, I don't know, girl. So let's get working. I will come to you either when I just have no more time left to crochet, or when I get to a length that I can try on so that you guys can see how it's looking. Anywho, let's get crocheting.
This is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. I want them each to be their own socks.
Phase one last night was to actually tie the tassels themselves. So I went through and essentially every 5 rows, I pulled whatever ends were available at that point, pulled those together, and I wanted to have at least 16 strands in each tassel. Some spaces had like 3 ends for me to work with. Some spaces had like 10 ends for me to work with. So I made additional strands of yarn to thread into the actual tassel so they're all a uniform size.
I need to get dressed and head out. I don't think I ever said the time, but it's 1:06. I've been crocheting for 2 hours and 19 minutes, and this is my progress. I do like how she's shaping up. I forgot to mention earlier, the other reason why I'm a bit hesitant is because I don't know if this is necessarily giving New Year's. I mean, like, I feel like the gold of it all is def giving New Year's, but like the idea of like a cardigan and mini skirt set, I don't know if that gives New Year's. However, at the time I thought it was going to be a lot colder, so that is my excuse. Anywho, I think I'm liking how my striping is progressing. I need to head out to go get dressed. I need to get dressed to go head out. I will hopefully see you later with more progress, but maybe I won't. I don't know. Okay, I'm back. It's currently 6:18. I have like almost 4 hours to just get going. My hope is to no, it's looking good. I love how like this champagne-y color is very subtle, so initially you're like, is that another color? But then you like zoom in with your eyes and it is. And I also like that the way that I'm blocking this so it doesn't feel like stripes, you know, it's not like stripes, but it is like stripes. My goal is to finish up this gold section and get to the next brown section. Let's do a length check. Like I said, I haven't been increasing at all. From the waistband, we're almost at 7 inches. And just skirt wise, we're at about 5.5. So let's see if we can do this last gold chunk and get to 10. I would love to get to a point where I could actually try it on for you guys without feeling like my butt will be completely out. That is the goal. Anyhow, can you tell that my vibe is continuously changing? Also, I was with my friends and they mentioned that it will in fact be cold on New Year's. Also, today was 50 degrees and it was low-key chilly, so my plan is once again definitely cardigan. This is 3 hours worth of progress. It is currently 9:31. I did in fact finish my gold section. I'm back to brown. I like the way it's looking, but I need to leave. So I just reached 10 inches. Well, technically it's 11 inches, but anyways, let's try it on. I cannot turn around because my butt cheek is slightly out. But just now, this fit is everything. You guys, when I tried this on what was that, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, Christmas, and it was too tight to even go over my hips. I didn't know if I was gonna recover. So to recover this well and have come up with this stripe pattern that is literally eating and like the fit, Okay, let me grab my measuring tape. This is where I usually wear my skirts at, like right at my belly button. So I'm just checking to see how long I want to make my slit. The original plan was 3 inches, but if I could get away with like 2.5, no, I think 3 will be perfect, especially on the butt. I feel like 3 inches will be most comfortable. 2.5 would be fine, but at 3, reviving. So I think I'll do 2.5 more of the stripe, and then if you know me, you know I do a little hem portion, and we'll make that the additional half bit. So onwards and upwards. Can you tell I'm excited?
Hello, it's nighttime now. I hope you all had a really wonderful holiday season, and if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. I just want to show you what I kind of got this year for Christmas. They're so cute.
It is many days later. Here is the skirt reveal though. I did in fact finish it right in time to wear to New Year's Eve. I will put my actual outfit here, but I loved her. She has like stretched out ever so slightly, so I would like to play around with that. I mean, it hasn't stretched out to a crazy like it's falling down on me type length or anything, but I would like to play around in the future with a bit of negative ease to see if we can help with that. If I seem like chilled out, it's because 1, I already wore this skirt for an entire night, loved it, it was amazing, and 2, I just filmed the reveal of the matching cardigan, which I did in fact finish, and you're going to have to wait until the next video to see that, or watch my everything that I made in 2024. That should be the video before this one. But anyways, just now, this as a separate, loving. Especially like, as you can see, you know, we're starting to get some more multicolored things, but I feel like having a neutral sort of situation works out well, because like I can grab any one of these cardigans for the most part and switch out the top, still wear the skirt, and it's a vibe. Oh, literally the perfect length. Like, felt very comfortable all night, even was dancing on stage, and I was so perfect length. Honestly, 10 out of 10. I'm glad that my initial idea failed, because I mean, this was honestly so much more creative, I feel, and more in line with something that I could incorporate in my wardrobe in a fun and funky way. Anywho, if you would like to see more of me, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. If you're interested in some of my made to measure, made to order crochet pieces, be sure to check out my website, NYGCbyTaylor.com, and stay tuned for the next video where I reveal the matching cardigan that goes with this, because I mean, she eats, but just imagine a matching set. Goodbye, girlies.